And you have people saying that Africans got help building the pyramid. And there was nobody, no major group of people, no large group of people, even in Africa at the time of the pyramid, other than African people. That's why you have to have the chronological order straight.
This is the remainder of number...
Okay, and the rest of that, note that the Greco-Roman period comes at the end of Kemet. Cultural Kemet is still in operation. In other words, during the time of the Greeks, the Kemetic people were still operating their culture. The Greeks didn't change that. Although the Greek culture changed. You know, Greek culture changed because they came to Africa and copied African people. Also note that this period, being the most recent, is the source of most of the material in museums. So this will confuse you. If you go to museums, you'll see many busts of Greek people dressed up like Africans, Roman people dressed up like Africans. They're mummifying their bodies. They're burying their bodies in these caskets that are copied on the style of the Greeks. They have their pictures inscribed on the wall. And so and there's so much of this material from 300 BC and so little of the material that survives from 2700 BC that unless you're careful, you would think that the Greek period was the typical period. It is not the typical period, it's the exceptional period.
Okay, let us go on.
Right, so this then sums it up as the dynastic chart. Then we can see where the Greeks and Romans fall in this, and you can see that they fall clearly toward literally after all the developmental periods are over. There is literally no Kemetic cultural development after the 25th dynasty. Okay. After that, it's all imitation or destruction.
Okay, master key number 12.
Master key number 12 is that in order to get a real picture of who the people were, you need to get as many pictures of a king, queen, as possible. More than one picture. Like with Nefertiti, we only usually see one picture. If we see two pictures of her, you will see that the one picture has to be in error. Okay. So that you always get as many pictures as possible so that you can sit them side by side, and that will give you an answer to the question of whether these were black or white people. Okay. So if you look here, this would be a picture of Amenhotep the second, the grandfather of King Tutankhamun. The next slide will show Amenhotep the third, the father of Akhenaten and King Tut. And so if you show this as a family sequence, then you begin to get a sense of what the racial makeup is. This would be Amenhotep III and his wife T, which we showed before. The next would be their son, Akhenaten. So you can see if we put them together now, then the son looks like the parents. If you see this picture of Akhenaten by himself, many people can't explain him except as a departure from the norm, as they've said. So if we look at the next slide, we'll see...
because they're looking at pictures that are outside the family.
Right, because they're looking at pictures outside the family. So they say he looks abnormal for a white person. That's right. And that's true. But he wasn't a white person.
Right. Master key number 13. Okay,
the last master key is that Egyptology, and notice I refer to myself as a chematologist. I'm a student of ancient Kemet. Egyptology takes the name that the Greeks used, Egypt, for the name of the academic discipline. So that must mean they're studying the period after the natives, apart from the natives. They really don't think that they are, but I'm very insistent on this terminology. Egyptology, which comes largely after Napoleon, is mainly the product of European scholars that emerged during the slavery and colonization period. That point cannot be overemphasized. The meaning of that.